Is a graduate of Texas A&M University. Since joining TxDOT, Patrick has managed the schematic development of a number of major projects such as the South Highway 288 toll lanes project and the I-610 West Loop at US 59 interchange reconstruction. You got all the fun jobs, didn't you? Man. He also played a key role in the development of multiple projects that address the top 100 most congested highways in the Houston area. Anybody know any congested areas in Houston? He is currently involved in planning, programming, and funding of the Houston District's portfolio of projects. Please help me welcome Patrick Gant.
All right, thank you so much. How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Pull it out just a little bit here. So, yeah, thanks for having me. I guess this is like maybe the third or fourth time I've spoke to this coalition. So, glad to be back. For the last year, I guess, this coalition had the opportunity to hear from Texas Transportation Commissioner Laura Ryan. Laura Ryan has been so influential in establishing a culture of safety in my office, TxDOT, but also instilling kind of a need for safety improvements across all of Texas. You know, it's really striking to know that since November 2000, there's been at least one tragic fatality on Texas roads every single day. That's tremendous. It's really hard to kind of wrap your mind around something like that, but every single day for, I guess, nearly 20 years now. You know, there's things that we can do just amongst us all to try to prevent that. You know, if you look at wearing your seatbelt or obeying the speed limit, putting down that crazy phone. You know, those are all things that you can do personally to try to get you home safe. And somebody told me that there's a big game this weekend. You know, some big time offenses, some really strong defenses. And you know, I don't really know who's going to win that game, but if you guys have some sort of... I don't know about that, but you know, as you have friends and family over at your house to watch that big game, you know, talk about safety. Talk about, you know, how you plan on getting home that night. Tell them to, you know, do those things that we mentioned, defensive driving, things like that, so that we can end that streak. You guys with me on that?
Yes, sir.
So another way to end the streak is to provide safe and reliable transportation infrastructure. And so when you look at the State Highway 36 corridor, you know, we have connectivity to Port of Freeport. Tons of freight coming in through Freeport using the 36 corridor, but my goodness, you know, by and large, that corridor is just a 2-lane facility. So look at that freight going north and south. You have the potential for head-on collisions. And when more people come to service places like Rosenberg, Fort Bend County to work in those tremendous industries that are coming online, more people are going to be using that road and having more potential for accidents. So TxDOT is very thankful that we have achieved significant funding to reconstruct and widen the 36 corridor. 36 corridor, what I'm going to talk about here briefly here, is the corridor from I-69 in Rosenberg all the way down to FM 1495 in Freeport. And, you know, how do you eat an elephant? Well, you got to eat it one bite at a time, right? So what TxDOT has done is broken out this corridor into a number of different highway segments. So starting off at the north end, we got first what we call segment 7, which is from I-69 down to FM 2218. Segment 8, 2218 down to Needville Fairchilds Road, so on and so forth down to the county line. Then segment 10 is the county line down to just a little bit north of West Columbia. Segment 11 is within West Columbia proper itself. And then from 522 down to 332, that's segment 12. Segment 13 is from the 332 area down to Jones Creek. Segment 14 is Jones Creek down to the Brazos River. And our final little segment is segment 15 from the Brazos River over to the terminus right there at the doorstep, Fort Freeport. So if you add all that up, that's 52 miles of roadway work that we have planned and going to be over the next several years ready to go. So I'm happy to report that segments 8, 9, and 10 are under construction. We just let them, what we call hard bid, just late last year in the fall. Segments 11, 12, 13, and 14 are anticipated to go to construction in 2022. And segment 15, I'm really excited about working with Fort Freeport again. We're looking to advance that in December of this year, 2020. So looking at the entirety of the corridor, this is a tremendous undertaking. If you were to add up the construction costs for the entirety of that 36 corridor, again from I-69 all the way down to Freeport, we're looking at well over $300 million worth of construction activities, $380 million. Really tremendous. So we're excited to get started. And again, that first little segment 8, 9, and 10 from 2218 all the way down to just a little bit north of West Columbia is first. We got some of our friends from Police Construction. They were successful in bidding that contract. So guys, let's get started, right? But those first segments, 8, 9, and 10, 27 miles of a 52-mile long corridor. So, do the math there, we're hitting about half of the corridor in this first stretch of lettings. So that's really fantastic. We're making a big dent in our challenge to reconstruct 36. You can see on the slide there, those are the different TxDOT area offices that are going to be leading up the construction of those activities. Projects within Fort Bend County are going to be led up by Mr. Grady Mapes, and the projects in Brazoria County with Michelle Hilliard. Their phone numbers are on the slide there. Tell them I called, okay? And it's also kind of interesting to note that these first three projects, if you were to add up those construction values, we're looking at about the $200 million worth of construction work. So 200 out of close to 400, so roughly about half. So when TxDOT endeavors to reconstruct and widen such a large corridor, 52 miles of state highway, it involves the acquisition of a large amount of right-of-way. I really have to tip my cap to the right-of-way staff at TxDOT. They had a huge amount of work on their plate. They had to go out and start acquiring nearly 500 parcels of property in that entirety of the corridor, I-69 down to 1495. That's tremendous. And so what my friends in our right-of-way section did is they actually went out into the community and put together a project office so that residences and property owners can go to that place right there on the corridor, view the maps, ask questions, understand the appraisal process and the acquisition process. And we were able to do a lot of the closings right there at the project office. So really tremendous. But we got more work to do. You can see on the slide some of the projects down between West Columbia and the Brazos River. We got some more work to do, but we are making good progress. We're over 50% on a lot of those segments, but more work to do. If you want to, by chance, follow along with how we're doing on the corridor, TxDOT.gov has a really awesome GIS database that allows you to kind of track different acquisitions, where they're at, there are different color codes on the map. Just type in keyword real property asset map on TxDOT.gov. So just to give you a little bit of an update on the other segments, the ones that weren't under construction, the 8, 9, and 10. I'll start off on the north side, segment 7, I-69 down to FM 2218. TxDOT continues to work with City of Rosenberg and the impacts to the Civic Center right there on 36. And what you know, we're also impacting the TxDOT area office. So, you know, those guys right there are really hard to do, guys, let me tell you. But we're hopeful that we can get those wrapped up and start moving forward with segment 7 here in the next few years. Segments 11, 12, 13, and 14, we're currently doing environmental reevaluation to kind of lump in some of the design changes that have occurred over the last few years as we got into the more detailed design work. We're also working with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, because you have to understand that portions of 36 go through some of the San Bernard National Wildlife Refuge. So we're coordinating with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and seeing what kind of mitigation strategies we can deploy in those wildlife areas. You know, there's been some talk about things such as a quote-unquote critter crossing. So if you have some sort of culvert, you can have some special amenities in the culvert to allow, you know, let's call them critters for right now, to get across the roadway so they can get from one side of the refuge to the other. And segment 15, down there at the terminus of 36, you know, we're working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to get those last permits for the reconstruction and widening of 36 and segment 15. So, I want to just kind of briefly touch on an idea that was kind of thrown out about 10, 15 years ago. TxDOT led some conversations about Brazoria bypass, city of Brazoria bypass. You know, roughly speaking, you know, something that kind of went around on the western side of Brazoria. TxDOT conducted a number of public meetings back in the early 2000s, but in today's world, I have to tell you that those projects and plans are really kind of on the shelf. We're not moving forward with those at this time. Throughout the city of Brazoria, 36 is already a 4-lane facility with median. So the idea is that any kind of improvements that we're talking about with the overall corridor reconstruction and widening just tie to that.